What's up, YouTube? Figured I'd give you guys an update since it's been a while. So I got a RV here with some solar and some wind. This is my little backup generator just in case I need it. Haven't really needed it that much. And then I got a little plug here with a GFCI adapter that I can plug into. And obviously that would be a female to female plug right there, so you need a male to male wire. So what I do to activate all the outlets here is I bought this male to male plug-in. So I only got one of these, so I can only plug in either the inverter to the outlets, which is down here, or the generator. So there's my inverter. The reason I have this is so that the cats can't get down there, and then also so that a bunch of hair doesn't get into the battery bank here. So I have this light so you can see. There's my battery bank there, and there's a few batteries behind these as well as these I added to it. So I got these big cables here for my inverter because the smaller cables on my smaller inverters, they kind of fried. So that's not really good. And then this gray wire goes to that full bridge rectifier, 3-phase full bridge, and then I got two smoothing caps on there. And yeah, I just added those couple small batteries yesterday because that was on my Bendini motor, which I'm not using anymore because my transistor fried, or my MOSFET, I should say. So yeah, I just turn that on when I need to. Got a little heater for when I'm getting dressed. Close that up so the cats can't get in there and the hair doesn't get sucked up by the inverter. And then, so yeah, I got some coffee, TV, mobile Wi-Fi router there if I need to, induction stovetop. I'd recommend getting a cast iron tea kettle so that when you cook on a campfire, that doesn't happen. But most of my cooking is on this now because it's time of year I'm not allowed to have campfires. The dog bed, dog food, water. I also have this other heater right here. My door handle's broken, so I just use this to open it for now. Here's the new door handle. Wildflowers are out today. And then I got this table set up so that I can set groceries or whatever there, or eat outside. So this is kind of what I've been working on, troubleshooting this. Oh, this is my little rainwater catch that I use for the toilet water. Little fold-out panel, and then all my wires come in here. So I added this conduit, and then the wires come back up so that water doesn't get in. And then I got a couple MPPT charge controllers right there. So here's one, and here's another. This one needs to get changed out. It's being shipped out right now. And then a couple 35 volt, 40,000 UF double wall graphene super cap banks. So all these are in parallel, so I don't need resistors to balance it as it discharges, which is nice. That helps when clouds are going over. And I was using buck converters, but I changed these to MPPT charge controllers because it seems to track the sun a little bit better with the voltage during early morning and sunlight, low sunlight. And then here's my wind, and then these are going to the batteries through that hole right there. And obviously they're coming in through this corner. And then I got a couple different gauge wires depending on which solar system it's going to, so it's all rated for the current and whatever. So I think this is like 10 gauge, and then I think this is 8 gauge, or no, 12 gauge, sorry. And then this is how I siphon water in. Just got this hose on a ladder here, and then I'll set the water tank right here in my little paint tray. There's the wind turbine, and then the solar. So this is one solar system here, the smaller one, and then this is the larger solar system, these three panels. So I'm able to use mismatch panels of these two with that one because these are about half the voltage in max power. So I can just wire these two in series and then wire that in parallel with the big one. So the voltage matches, which is very important because if you don't match the voltage, you just waste the energy as heat, and it kind of will just drop the voltage of the entire system to the lowest voltage bottleneck. Then I got another cap bank here, which is much larger in capacity. I had a couple microinverters here that are phase locking, but I unplugged them, as you can see, because I don't have a hybrid inverter. You need a hybrid inverter to make it work good. One of the smaller Chinese knockoffs kind of fried, and then the other one that was a 1,000-watt continuous sine wave inverter has a switch. So I was able to use it during really low sunlight, early morning, to help assist. But I didn't want to fry my normal inverter because that thing costs like a few $100s. So I just got rid of it. Well, I still have it in storage, but I'm not using it. And I didn't buy a hybrid inverter because they're really expensive. So these are here because I had a panel here, but I took it off because it just was dropping the voltage of the system. I couldn't get it to work good. I'd have to get another one of these. I really like these types of panels, the Ocean Solar 160 watt panels, because they're super lightweight, so it's really good for an RV, whereas this thing is super heavy. Like, these ones are pretty small, 100-watt panels, and that's a 45-watt panel, but they're all the same voltage, so it works together good, even though they're just different brands and whatever. So you just got to make sure the specifications of the panels and everything you're working with work together good. And then this is a 500-watt turbine, so that's max power is 500 watts, and puts out 12 volts. Yeah, AC right there. I don't know if you can see that, but this was kind of a pain to put on here because I learned that, like, if you have a coupler here with bolts on the inside, you're gonna have to have like some sort of like hair grabber, pipe grabber to get down in there and put the bolts in. And I wasn't able to put all 4 bolts in because otherwise I don't have enough room to make the clearance to put the wire down through. And then I cut with an angle grinder a square hole there for the wire to pop out of, low enough so that this never gonna hit. Just taped it up so water doesn't get in there. I got a little solar light right here that's a motion sensor for when you walk down there during nighttime. It'll automatically kick on. And there used to be an awning right here, and I took that off, and I left the frame right here so I can just obviously do a little pipe clamp to that to hold this pipe to it, so, or a hose clamp or whatever, so that works out. And then getting down here is a little bit difficult with one hand, but I'll just set you down. All right. So yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. Flowers are out today, which is nice. And then here's my little rainwater that I use for the toilet and whatever that I collect. And I'll show you my shower, I guess. So this tree got hit by lightning. Here's my little outdoor shower. And I got a little piece of bark I stand on. And sometimes I just shower at the gym because it's really windy and cold. But when it's not windy and cold, I'll just shower out here. So yeah, pretty simple setup. Learned quite a few things. Something I learned about this battery bank here is that you definitely want to put a fuse on this positive wire here. So I'll show you that. Because I burnt up my other inverters, which is kind of sad. But they were cheap and small, so it's whatever. Learned what's something cheap before I got something more expensive, like this Jupiter inverter. So what you gotta do is you gotta open up the box, because it won't tell you on the box. Read the manual, see what it's rated for in amps, and then you find an automotive fuse. You bolt it on right there onto the positive terminal of your battery bank where it's coming from. So it pops right there and doesn't mess up your wire, even though this wire can handle a lot more. That way it's just more efficient. And then, yeah, so this is 175 amps automotive fuse, because this can handle 188 amps before it breaks. So that way the fuse pops before it ever gets there. That was the closest one in amperage that I could find to 188. You don't want to go above what it's rated for, obviously, because then your device will break before your fuse pops, and you don't want that. So it's kind of like the Price is Right type thing. And then, yeah, this way the cats can't get in there, hair can't get in there. So, yeah, just want to give you a little update and share a couple things that I learned. And yeah, if I were to redo this, if I could afford a hybrid inverter, I'd buy a hybrid inverter. Keep the phase locking microinverters on the roof there. Make a little cover for them to prevent water. That way when I turn this on, I can assist the power of using something like this. This draws a lot of power sometimes, so the voltage sags. And what I've noticed is that the voltage will sag a little bit on the battery you're pulling from. And if you turn this off for just like 30 seconds and turn it back on, the voltage kind of comes back up and equalizes in the battery bank. And that's part of the reason why I put this battery on the left, because I'm kind of pulling off the end of the battery bank here. I learned you kind of want to hook up your inverter to the middle of your battery bank so that it can equalize from both sides instead of kind of creating a voltage gradient across your battery bank for heavy loads. And then you want to, if you're doing a setup without microinverters, it's just best to go with the normal inverter, because the normal inverters are more efficient than the hybrid inverter and they're more affordable. So if you don't have microinverters or don't want to use them, or you're not going to backfeed to the grid or nothing like that, you might as well just go with a normal inverter. So yeah, have a good day, YouTube.